Happy Monday. Welcome to Coffee Chat with Danny, where we are live every Monday, bringing you a dose of motivation to kickstart your week, to shift your mindset, and get ready for the fabulous things that are about to happen this week. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Danny, and I am the founder of the Empowered You community, confidence coach, and NLP practitioner who helps you become the boss of your life. I'm super excited today because one of the things that we have been talking about all along is using our voice. Using the voice that we have, whether that's in our life, in our business, how we are showing up in this world, and using the beautiful ideas and beliefs that we have. So this one is especially fabulous for today. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, protein shake, whatever you're drinking. I'm drinking tea, coffee with coconut oil, and I blended it. It's the first time I've done this. And look at how beautiful it is. No cream needed. All right, so enough about that. Let's get started. So, man, it's probably about a month ago, I want to say now, that I was volunteering at an event. And I realized that I started to shrink. Have you ever done that? Have you ever had that feeling where you felt like you were being judged, and all of a sudden you felt yourself cowered in, right? And I've talked about this before, how we can do that sometimes, right? Where we will bring ourselves in and really cower in. We're feeling judged, or we're not feeling confident in maybe what's happening around us, right? One of the things that I think many people struggle with, I know I struggle with, and sometimes still struggle with, right? Speaking my truth, even when I know it's not popular, right? So I have been vegetarian for around 3 years now. We just hit 2 years, so this is year number 3. And one of the things that I often get challenged about is, why are you vegetarian? Why don't you like meat? Why do you, like all these questions, and I immediately get judged. And for a long time, I really didn't want to say it. I really didn't want to say that that's a choice that I made and that's what I choose, right? I would constantly get judged, and I find it so interesting that people are always so curious about how and why we choose the things we choose, right? But what happened to me that whole time that I was choosing not to speak my truth, not to tell people what I believed or what I did, right? And I would just pass. So this is how it would go. We would be out. I would be at an event, whether it's a networking lunch or whether it was volunteering or whether it was, in one of the clubs that I belong to, one of the things that I do, right? Or even if I was out with friends, right? And everybody would order and they're like, oh, what are you going to get? And I'm like, oh, maybe a salad or, maybe this or that, And I would be like, oh, okay, well, this chicken is really good. If you get the chicken's really good. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, Or they'd say like, oh, this place has like the best steak. Like, you should totally get the steak. Or they're serving salmon today, so, it's going to be really good, right? It was all these ideas about what I should eat, right? And so I wouldn't say, yes or no or whatever. And then if I did say, oh, I'm going to get a salad or something like that, then they would say like, a salad? What do you want, a diet? And like, right, we automatically go to these phrases. And oftentimes it wasn't that I maybe really wanted the salad. It was just that was the option that was available for me, right? And I don't judge. I don't care. Like, it's my choice. It's not some fairs, right? So I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable. I didn't want to be uncomfortable. And so I just kind of left it at that. And then, they would be like, try this, right? And then there would come so many opportunities. We want to share, right? We want to, like, when we like something, we want to tell everybody, right? We want to share it with everybody, especially food. I don't know. I find that everybody wants to share food all the time. So, they would have their food, and then they'd be like, oh my God, this tastes so good. You really have to taste this. And I would just say, oh, thank you. That's okay. They're like, no, but it's really good. You have to taste it. Like, here, taste it. And like, so then finally I would have to say, like, oh, like, I actually don't eat meat. Like, right? Get the and then sometimes it would become this awkward conversation of like, well, why? Well, why do you believe that? And then their judgments or their beliefs would just pour out on me, right? And then I would find myself having to be in defense of my choice. And I realized that had I just said up front, like, oh, I'm a vegetarian, and I think I'm going to get the salad, right? Of not knowing, and then having everybody feel even more weird, right? So if we could get it out in the very beginning, then we wouldn't have to, right, cause this like weirdness, right? Like of here, try, and she doesn't like me because she's not trying my food, and she doesn't trust me because she's not trying my food, right? All these ideas, that we have in our head, right? Instead of saying, oh, hey, this is a choice. This is what I've decided. This is who I am. This is what I do, right? And it's interesting how when we do that, and when I have learned of when I have done that, people are a little bit more receptive to be like, oh, okay, cool, right? And then they might be a little bit curious, right? They might ask some questions. And then most of the number one question actually that I get is, what made you decide that, right? Which is, I think is great, because then I love to explain why, what my process was and how I made that decision that I thought was right for me, right? And I think that's interesting instead of having this like battle, right? So where can you speak your truth? Where not choose to share your truth? And I mean that from the standpoint of what you believe, of what's for you, of what your thoughts are on something. I think sometimes we shy away because we're afraid of that judgment, right? And for me, one of the biggest that I can give you in standing in your truth and standing in your own power is to just be curious. Just be curious about what they believe and how they came to believe that. That is one thing that I find that once I started doing that more, I felt less judgment on me, and I felt less awkwardness in our conversation. And it was truly coming from a place of curiosity, like, wow, what makes them believe that, right? And asking questions around why they believe what they believe. I often find that these beliefs that we have come from other people, come from our families, come from people that raised us, the people who influenced us as a child and even into college, right? Or even the current people that you're surrounding yourselves with now. That's why people say the people that you hang around with, the people that you hang around with are the people that influence you the most, because they absolutely do. So where are your beliefs coming from, number one? And what do you truly believe? I think when you truly own what you believe, whether that is popular or not popular, right? You then are able to speak your truth with confidence, use your voice, speak your ideas, speak your beliefs. Last week, I talked about how we all have a mission here. And I know you that are watching right now, you have a mission. You have a purpose. And you are driven to make that happen, to see that come true. But there's things that get in your way, right? When you are able to speak your truth and own your beliefs and own your own truth, truth, whatever that is when you will find that your voice no longer shakes, that the confidence will increase, and that you will find so much more power from within you. So my challenge for you today, this week, as we look at this new week ahead of us, is how can you speak your truth even when your voice shakes? How can you be curious about what other people believe and how they believe it and how it became true for them? And I want you to look at your beliefs. Where did they come from? Did they come from your family, from the people that surround you now? Or are they your own? Did you make the decision? And if you did, go ahead and speak your truth. All right, everyone, that is it for us today. That is a dose of motivation to get you started this week, to shift that mindset and propel you forward to become the boss of your life and achieve everything you absolutely dream. Remember to be you and to be amazing. Bye.